there was 5,992,967 veterans in 2024 that were receiving VA disability compensation. So we're going to cover the percentages from 0 to 100%. So thank you for your patience. First one is a 0% rating. That's less than 1% of all veterans have a 0% rating. Now, this is a very significant rating. I would say one of the most significant ratings, a 0% rating, because the VBA recognizes disability as service connected. That's what's the first reason it's important. Now, that's the most important. Now that you are service connected, now that gives you certain powers to push for more benefits. Let's talk about it. And you get a lot of benefits at the 0% rating. Now, what they're saying is you're 0% because your severity level is low. So you're not going to get compensated. You won't get anything at a 0% rating, but the 0% rating in most cases. But there are special situations that you can get compensated at a 0% rating. We're going to talk about it. The severity level is low at a 0, so it wasn't enough to compensate you. However, see, this is why it's so important. If you have a 0% rating, you can file for an increase if you have evidence that your condition is worse. So you already covered the first two parts of being a disabled veteran. Well, you already got the severity level 2, but now you saying, okay, I ain't got to worry about filing whether I have a diagnosis. I got that. I ain't got to file, so it's service connected. Got that nexus. I'm saying the severity level has gotten worse since I got my claim, or you disagree with the rating that you got. Now you can file for an increase if you have newer material evidence. Now, with a 0% rating, another benefit is having health care for your service-connected disability in the VA healthcare system called the VBA, and there are limits, but you will get treatment for free for your service-connected disability. We got our brother in here, Disabled Ronin, says, hey, can't stay, but stop by to show love to the family. Thank you. Let us continue. No problem, no problem. So that means that all treatment for service-connected disability is free. Any questions on what we're talking about? You're welcome. Now, this means also not just the treatment and medical treatment, but also medical treatment in the form of medication is free too. If you have to travel to your VA appointment, all travel to the VA, the travel pay, you receive travel pay, it will be free for the service-connected disability. Travel allowances to scheduled appointments for service-connected care at a VA medical facility or VA authorized health care facility that's related to your service connection. Is that all right? Now, our brother say here, 66 says 0% is the old proverbial foot in the door. That's exactly what it is, family. Did you hear that? The 0% gets you in the door. I thought it meant that I lost. That's not the case. That's the foot in the door, 0%. I'm going to start using your term. Now, then you get access to base and you can go to the commissary and different things. Anybody have an idea, this is overseas, what base this is? You may not remember it. Let us know if you know. But you get access to base, military bases. They've changed that about 3 years ago. Used to have to be 100%. It's overseas. Now, 0% use of commissary, base exchange, and moral welfare and recreation, MWR, retail facilities, in person or online. Online is good, family. I like doing online because if you spend $50 or more, in particular with the exchange, they don't charge you no delivery fee. So in the commissary, I think they're run by an outside thing. You don't pay no taxes at the commissary store, PX, and different things like that. Naval Exchange, Post Exchange. But however, you may pay some at the commissary, where you get the groceries and food. You usually go up there from them because it's hard to get them to ship them to your house. Another thing at a 0% that you get, burial and plot allowance for $2,000 if you're a disabled veteran with a 0% rating, in addition to the other things, the markers and different things you get for just being an honorary discharge veteran. Okay, here's a real important one. Watch our video on this. SDVI Life versus VA Life, disabled veteran life insurance. And this is real critical because veterans, sometimes because of our conditions, we're not able to get a lot of insurance from outside companies. So they got it where it used to be SDVI Life, which I have, but they changed it over in 2022 or 23 to VA Life. And I think it's about $40,000 worth of insurance. I got $10,000. The reason I haven't changed mine is because the VA pays the premium if you're 100%. Okay, go look at the video and you'll find the requirements for that. But it's 0%. That's why I say you have time limits you need to apply. Now, we also has VA clothing allowance. Anybody in here that has a VA clothing allowance, put a piece of clothing allowance, put the word clothes in the chat, put the word shirt in the chat, or put some emojis that show clothing. Now, clothing allowance come at a 0% rating also. Who is eligible? First, let me tell you how much it is. $1,053.19 at the time of this video, and you have to apply for it by August 1st. Who is eligible? You have a service-connected disability, right? You use a prescribed prosthetic or orthopedic application that damages clothing. That could be a wheelchair, crutches, or braces. You use a prescribed skin medication for a service-connected condition that irreparably stains or damages outer garments, not underwear. Okay? It don't cover underwear. VA form 10-8678 to their local VA center prosthetics department. It should be in the VA hospital, right? Then we got J. Oliver says, good evening, family. Yes, indeed. We get into the information. We had 0. After 0, it goes a little faster. So dealing with the prosthetic, if your prosthetic, damages your clothing while you're moving around, exercising, and doing things in the house, or just in your daily routine, you can get that clothing allowance at 0%. If you have a cream that damages your clothing that you need on, but it's on a certain list from what I've been told, it's only certain creams that can be used to get the clothing allowance. Now, with a 0%, You can, now that you got a 0%, if it caused any secondary illnesses or injuries, that service-connected 0%, you can do what? You can file for secondary service connection. That's another power of a 0%. You can start off with it. All right. So you had the in-service cause, from your injury. Then that's your primary condition. But it causes a secondary condition. All right. We're going to talk about that. You would have PTSD that could cause sleep apnea. Sleep apnea could give you heart failure. Heart failure could cause you to, a heart condition can cause you to have chronic fatigue, irritable bowel syndrome. These theories of service connection. So the secondary service connection could be at the 0%, or that secondary that's connected to the 0% can get you paid for. You can get paid for it. You might be 0% for tinnitus, but might be 70% for depression. Huh? Talk to me. Now, for example, GERD. Let's say you were diagnosed with GERD, acid reflux, a type of acid reflux. You had a 0% rating for it. So GERD diagnosis code 7206. 0 mean mild, documented GERD, but symptoms are mild and well controlled with medication. That's usually the key thing when your condition is controlled with medication. Regardless of the condition, they usually give you a 0%. With no significant swallowing issues or esophagus damage. Okay? You got it. It's some problem, but it's not as bad. What gives you heartburn? Now, some of the side effects or secondary conditions that you can claim could be PTSD, anxiety, depression. Weight gain could be a what you call an intermediate situation where you might get sleep apnea or some other condition. Asthma can come from GERD. Side effects from the medication that you take from the GERD could cause a secondary condition. So let's say asthma. So if you had a 0% for asthma, it was secondary to your GERD, or you just got both of them, 0% for both. What does 2 0% add up to be, family? Let us know. What does 2 0% ratings add up to be? Let us know. 2 0%. Anybody know? So if you have a 0% for GERD and it causes secondary condition of asthma that ends up being rated 0%, Betty Bob put it in there, 10%. Yes, indeed. You say, how 0 and 0 equal 10? That's VA math again. Here we go. If you, Brother Charleston, who in here have right now, you have more than 1 0%? Let us know. How many zeros you have? 0% ratings do you have from the VA? If veteran has at least 2 0% ratings that interferes with their ability to work, a 10% rating is warranted. So we got 18 likes. We thank y'all, family, and 12 watching. Thank you so much. So Jay would say prescribe benzoyl peroxide for skin that bleaches clothes qualifies for clothing allowance. We need to hear that. So our brother Charles said he has 1. Betty Bob said I have 2 0%. If they prevent you from working, you can get a 10% rating for that, sister. In your case, Brother Charleston, if you have 1 0% or that 10% you got for tonight, let's just say we focus on 0%. If that condition causes a secondary condition, you can file for the secondary condition, and it might be more severe. Come on now. Brother Jay Oliver say, I have 3 0% ratings, But if he's already at 100%, I think geography it may not really be relevant to my knowledge because you already got total rate. So with VA math, 1 + 1 don't equal 2. It may equal 3 because of VA math. Now, a special situation would be female arousal disorder or erectile dysfunction. So let's say the veteran has a 0% for that. That 0% by itself can bring the veteran some funds because erectile dysfunction is SMCK. All right, so you'll still have a 0% rating, but because of that 0% rating for that erectile dysfunction, that might be related to another condition. You know, PTSD may have caused you to have erectile dysfunction. Watch our video on secondary service connections, and you'll see a lot of them. So what it is, loss of use of creative organ, the VA typically assigns a 0% disability rating for ED when a veteran's condition is deemed service-connected. Now follow this. SMCK, special monthly compensation, is specifically for veterans who have experienced the loss of use of creative organ, which includes erectile dysfunction. Family, are we breaking it down? Are we telling you everything you get for a 0% rating? Also, another thing, if your service-connected condition at a 0% rating requires you to get in, it limits you getting in and out of your vehicle, it's possible eligibility for automobile adaptive equipment. That could be from loading from the back, attaching to the vehicle. They even have doors that you can, a power thing that puts you in the seat and all this. If it's your service-connected disability that's limiting you from getting in your vehicle and getting out of your vehicle, or even driving your vehicle with a 0% rating. Another thing is special monthly compensation for loss or use of organ or other amputations. If you're 0%, and you can definitely get a 0% for that. Veteran preference, job preference, veteran federal job preference. Okay, so that's another thing. I think it's 10 points. A lot of people that go work for federal jobs, like the post office and others. Name some of the other ones that y'all know of. It'll give you preference in the job. Now, H-Town, the only one I know that tells you this. When it comes to VA ratings, VA disability benefits accumulate. So if you have a 0%, then you end up getting a 10%. You're gonna get all the benefits for 10% and those that came at the 0% rating too. That's why it's confusing. So let's say you never had a rating ever. And your first rating is 30%. It's automatically assumed that you're not just getting the benefits for the 30% rating, but the benefits from 20%, 10%, and 0%. Do that make sense?